Alright, so thank you very much for hanging out. I do apologize for the 35 seconds or so of nothing because I was waiting for the YouTube streaming thing to appear before I started talking, because I'm never 100% sure in regards to the delay and lag on what is actually happening with what you see on YouTube when I'm going live. Now, there's currently nobody right now who's watching this stream, as I expected, simply because of the fact that this is yet another impromptu stream. I do these all the time simply because of when I have the time, when I can, and it's all very dependent on this little thing down there who's trying to offer me an empty packet of her biscuits. So, what I'm doing today is I'm going through just another grab bag. You know, this is my third grab bag, third time around the rodeo. Some people say grab bags aren't really that worthwhile, but you know what? I think they're lots of fun, at least for me to sort through. It allows me to create random sets if necessary, and the other thing that it allows me to do is it lets me help people in the community to be able to complete sets, as well as allow them to test different profiles, you know, and if they're creating macro pads or they're just getting started out or they want base caps for artisans or anything of that nature, I'm more than happy to send them out keycaps to help them along with that, especially locally in Australia, which at times can be quite difficult. So, without further ado, let's get into the actual box. It is sealed, of course, but the first thing is, I found it really interesting that on the label, they've specifically said plastic keycaps 700 total. So it's almost like, did they count this, or are they just estimating that there's about 700 keycaps here? And of course, you can see the value is 50 US. So there we go. Now there's one person watching right now. I'm not 100% sure if it's somebody or it's just me because I'm watching the health of the stream. Whoever it is, thanks very much for coming along and just chilling out and seeing this live stream. So let's get the old Stanley knife and crack it open and get out this bag. What are you doing? And that's her thoughts on grab bags. You can't sit on Daddy's laps right now, okay? Because I know you're going to scrabble at everything, and then you're going to make a mess, and all the caps are going to go flying, and Daddy's using a knife, which is dangerous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. It's a knife. It's dangerous. Okie dokie. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. This is, like I said before, this is the third grab bag that I've had, and this is actually the first time that my grab bag's broken. So these space bars have actually split through the bag. So I can access the content of the bag right through, which well, it's not really that big a deal, but it was a little bit unexpected. So hopefully, you know, it's not gonna. If anything, it means I can just reach through the bag, but I want to be able to use this box to put the small Ziploc bags when I start sorting. So I might just patch that up a little bit, if possible. Just going to shove those keycaps back in. Going to try and lift this out without spilling too many more, I hope. Oh, there's an F8 down the bottom of the box here. It's split relatively high up the top there. Now what I'm going to do is just going to tape it with some masking tape. Rightio. It's been a reasonably nice week weather-wise in Sydney. We had 1-2 hot days and then it kind of cooled off with a little bit of rain. Been fairly moderate, bit windy. We've had sort of some bushfire weather recently as well, but nothing too horrible yet. They've been doing a lot of backburning in Sydney, so okay. So there is the sack of keycaps, sack of bags. Well, hey, you're not allowed to touch those. All right. No, that's right. You can have the bubble wrap. You can't touch this bag. No. No. Okay, let's start sifting handfuls of caps. Of course, I'm just randomly talking to myself now. Oh, that's pretty nice. Is that from like a Miami kind of thing? Hey, not for you. Some essays. The essays. Yes. 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 Well, that's straight off the mark. That's a really interesting one there. It's, it looks like it's some kind of DCS. I don't know if it's just designed that way or not, but it kind of looks like they haven't taken the edges off that, or it was seated incorrectly. The two mold halves didn't contact properly and it seeped through. Or maybe that's deliberate. That was an interesting one. A stepped cap with a curvature. It looks like it's an Alps stepped cap. Oh, have a novelty here. Have a novelty with a yin and yang symbol on it. That's pretty cool. And it looks like some Borealis. I probably shouldn't pull out too many, but not quite sure how I'm going to do this organization yet. Maybe let's just go by wow. Have you? I've never seen this before in my 3 grab bags. There's like an Alps mount center, and then there's cruciform on the sides. That's very interesting. Just a blank. That's really weird. Godspeed. More Godspeed. Some Godspeed bags. Alright, so let's just start with some profile bags, I think is probably the easiest way to go about this. We'll do essay in one bag, and then I suppose the other types into some separate bags. And we'll worry about splitting them up later. I actually don't know very much about some of the older sets, so I may not recognize them necessarily very well. For those who are watching this, well, that's interesting. Not quite sure what language that is. Ende with a Sigma symbol on the end of it. But yeah, of course, if you're watching this later, you can always comment in the stream, or chuck me a message if there's something that I absolutely have no idea about. Don't get screechy on me, please. Okay? Yes, that's right. Uh-huh. I agree. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, whoever the second person is joining the stream, thanks very much for coming along. Really appreciate that you're spending your time out to hang the channel. Nang nang. And as you can hear, I have a very active, talkative one just hanging off the camera at the moment. Don't know what you're trying to tell me, dear. Uh-huh. Alright, so everything that's not DSA or SA, I'm going to put in this, and then I'm going to have another bag which is for, say, oddities or defects, that kind of thing. To make it a little bit easier, so that one with that weird Alps back, and that one that's not fully formed, and that Alps one can go there as well. And I think this is actually non-MX, so I might need another bag for those. But let's get clearing on the table. If this is the first time you've joined me in a stream, please don't be shy. You're more than welcome to, of course, lurk if you like. But if you want to chat, if you want to ask questions and whatnot, I'm more than happy to answer what I can, what I know, what I'm able to. I'm going to end up with little baggies everywhere. Okay. Of course, you'll have to excuse the chaos that is going to happen behind me. Yeah. But that's what happens when you get little kids. Oh wait, you're not allowed to touch this. You're gonna get upset, aren't you? Alright, let's see. Some more Godspeed. Essays. Essay spacebar. What looks to be a DSA spacebar. Essay ISO enter, maybe? They look really big. Is that going to fit it? It does fit it. Okay, so maybe that's fine. Another one of those weird ones. Let's just quickly separate out some of these. Some nice looking colors here. For sure. A bit more Godspeed. What looks to be some ice there. Alright, start quickly piling them down by profile. Yes. You need some more syllables. Can you say banana?
Nah.
Nah. Is that all you have? Just nah? And nah. Yeah. I must say you're very good at that one. Have you? Uh-huh. I think that's a bit of light speed right there, which is nice. And look, I've even got a win cap. A cap that says win. Butchie? Butchie? Now that's actually a nice cyan there. Whatever that cap was. Okay, into the oddities. Oh, and she's gonna close the door. There she goes. Alrighty. Yes. That's right. Now, if you ever think of having kids and you're unsure, let this live stream be an example of what to expect from a 16-month child. And if that helps you in your decision making, that's fantastic. Now, if there's anything that's actually not happening or working properly in the stream, please just let me know in the chat and then I can correct that. But I think all the audio is working, at least it's projecting on my side. And hopefully that's what you're also able to hear, that there's actually some audio going on right now. Now, wow, there's a lot of these. What are they? They're 225s with the two crucifix and the single Alps looking thing in the middle. I am actually streaming at the same time as our good friends over at Top Clack, but you know, it's not that I'm trying to compete. I don't really anticipate any competition. They're doing a build session, I believe, but it's really more just this is time and opportunity for me to do a stream, so I'm doing a stream. And of course, because there's always video on demand for all of this available, if you're watching this on playback, well, thank you very much for choosing to come and check this out, as boring as this potentially is. Well, for some people anyway. So there's some essay. Now my last grab bag actually had a good mix of essay and DSA, so we'll see how this bag turns out. Hey, we're up to 3 people watching this. This is pretty cool. How's it going, number 3? Whoever it is, welcome to the stream. I'm just doing grab bags. Well, grab bag, single. And then I have a chatterbox in the background who's climbing around and being a general monkey. Hey, hi, Angus Franklin. Thank you very much for coming along, checking out the stream. Is this the first time you've come along to our stream here on the board? Some more jukebox. Not sure what this pink set is actually. If anyone knows what that pink is, it's a very light sort of pastel pink. I think I got some Pulse. That's pretty cool. Pulse is probably one of the first sets that I ever came across when I first joined the artisan community that made me go, wow, there's some really cool stuff happening out here. So it'd be pretty cool if I could get a good amount of Pulse to do something with, but I don't really anticipate that to be the case. Pulse is pretty old. It's 3 years, maybe? Something like that. I think Pulse had just come out when I started in the community, which means, yeah. It's definitely getting on in the tooth. That's fantastic, Angus. Thank you very much for hanging with us and continuing to watch our stuff a couple of months in. Really appreciate that. Where do you hail from, Angus? If you don't mind me asking. Are you US? Continental US? Europe? Australia? I think that's from Toxic. So that's pretty cool. Some more Godspeed there. These weird ones. Brisbane! Oh, man. Brisbane. Good old Bris Vegas. Have you been in Bris Vegas long? Wow, look at that. That's a short shift right there. Barely fits on that cap. I actually grew up in Brisbane. I lived in Brisbane from 1986 to 1999. I moved down in 1999 at the start of the year to start university in Sydney. And Sydney, here I stayed after I came down. So, yeah. I lived all over the place in Brisbane. Moved like 11 times in 13 years. So, Brisbane is kind of like my hometown of sorts. And I have a lot of friends. Look at that. I've got a hack button. I'm gonna spam that. Do all the hacking. Yeah, my best friend from school, who's the godfather of my daughter, still lives in Brisbane. I've got lots of family in Brisbane, so it's one of those, I suppose, not quite ancestral homes, but spiritual home, maybe. I don't know. That's a way of describing it. So how long have you been into mechanical keyboards, Angus? Wife is just going outside to do something and maybe occupy the baby's attention there. Wow, that's a lovely pink spacebar right there. Making good progress here by the handfuls, sorting out these keycaps. Going by profile first, of course, makes things nice and easy. It's very easy to distinguish SA keycaps from everything else, and then not worry too much about what kind of sets they come from in their profile rows. Since around 2014. Okay, so that's like the same time I started getting into keyboards. About May 2014 was when I kind of joined the community here, being a bit of a lurker and whatnot. Oh, okay. So what kind of customs do you prefer? Are you like a Korean custom? Are you a hand-wired custom? Any particular form factor that you have a preference on? And of course, the other two people who are lurking in this conversation, feel free to answer the same questions for yourself if you like. Nobody here is going to bite, and nobody here is going to judge you at all. We're pretty friendly here, and of course, anybody who decides to be unpleasant will face the ban hammer, or whatever ban hammer that I'm able to implement here. 60% poker, okay. So, what's your reasons for using a 60%? I know that a lot of people who do the 60% tend to be sort of programmers or people who don't do a lot of numerical work directly, or they tend to do a lot of travel and therefore the 60% is a very convenient form factor for them. That's an interesting shift key. Whoa, look at that script. F2, function 2. That's an interesting one. Yeah. 2014, that was a very interesting year for me. That was when I started a new job, which I'm still in the same company, but I've moved a lot in. So, and keyboards has been a pretty good constant. 2014 was the same year I got married, moved out of home, bought a place, have a mortgage. 2014 was a very busy year for me. Small space and traveling. Okay. I haven't really had terribly much opportunity to travel a lot, so I guess I'm kind of not in that same category of needing the form factor, but when I have traveled, I do actually take my Leopold with me just because, you know, I prefer having the arrow keys, but that's me. Transmit. That's a fat, long right shift right there. Some more. Oh, look at that. That tube fit right over the top of that. It's one of those weird, long, not quite buckling spring dome insert thingamajiggies. Hey, Brandon. Thanks very much for commenting. You're new to Mech keyboards, lurking since March or so. 40% and lower. Wow. Well, you can't really get terribly much lower than 40%. I mean, you've got the Gherkin, and then you get into macro pad territory, or I think somebody did a 26% keyboard at one point, and all it had was just the alphas, and you had to somehow alpha and one key or something like that, and you had to function layer it. What's the appeal for you on the much smaller size comparison to the 60% there, Brandon? And in that sense also, while you're sort of compiling your response, are you just looking at OEM small size keyboards, or are you actually doing custom builds as well? I think that's DSA Otaku. That's pretty cool. I don't have any DSA Otaku, but maybe now I do. What are you doing? You gotta be careful down there. Daddy's not gonna roll over you. Dada. Yeah, that's right. If you do, you're gonna cry a lot, aren't you? And then you're gonna make Daddy feel bad. Dada. What's Mummy doing? Is Mummy doing the laundry? I think Mummy's doing some laundry. It's a nice shift there. So where do you hail from too also, Brandon? Now that I know Angus is from good old Bris Vegas. Day. Oi. Try not to be too screechy, okay? We have other people here who are listening, and I don't know if they would necessarily appreciate having their eardrums ruptured like poor Daddy and Mummy have sometimes. You say banana? Oh, you can say nana. You like nanas, don't you? Yeah, you like a nana. Daddy has no nanas right now, okay? You like being able to have a small travel board for school, and ortho that hasn't been... Ah, okay, so you really like the ortho life as well, do you? How long did it take for you to get used to the ortho life? Because I have tried ortho a little bit, Ergodox ortho as well. Daddy dropped a keycap, and Daddy doesn't know where it's gone. And Daddy's afraid that you're going to pick it up and eat it. Where did it go? Daddy's pretty sure he dropped a keycap. Yeah, ortholinear. How do you find it? How long did it take for you to actually adjust to the ortho life? Because for me, I'm like an old dog, very difficult to teach new tricks to, and so while I have a gherkin and while I do have a let's split, I don't envisage I'm going to be using them a lot. They're more of a novelty thing for me at the moment. I also don't really have as much time to dedicate to learning them in particular, simply because of my work situation where I use a full size and a lot of numbers. So always interested to know what kind of techniques and tips that you have utilized to get up to speed with that, so that if there are other people who are also interested in doing the ortho life can have an idea. Now, how long until the next grab bag? That's a really good question, Angus. I can't answer that because nobody actually knows for sure. They seem to pop up every sort of 3 to 4 months, because it's really when their seconds bin fills up that they will do a run. They haven't been on a regular schedule, and normally what will happen is they'll just advertise a couple of weeks out that grab bags will be back soon, and then closer to the date, of course, they'll actually put, you know, the date of when the sale is happening. So you really have to sign up to the Signature Plastics newsletter. That's one good source to find out when the next grab bag's happening. Otherwise, yeah, just word of mouth, I guess, and a little bit of luck. TRK sup trunk suspension? Truck suspension? I don't know. That's an interesting one. You've been using a plane for the last few months with my own layout. Feels much better than staggered. Not the greatest typist, so switching was not difficult. Were you a touch typist before you went to the ortho life? That's probably a good place to start that question with. I still don't know what happened to that cap that I dropped. I hope it's not the a Signature Plastic $100 voucher cap. That would be very sad. Incidentally though, I haven't seen any pictures of people who've posted theirs. Obviously they're not going to share the code, but anybody claiming that they've actually found one of those code caps. So either they're not part of the community, or they've yet to be claimed, yet to be found, dug up. Not a very good touch typist, hey? You know, I was never really a touch typist either until I got much later into my life, sort of the uni years, before I started getting much better. I do touch type, but I touch type in an unorthodox way. So I don't use standard finger placement, which for split keyboards actually does make a difference, because, yeah. And also typing on the ergodox, it messes me up on the ergodox, simply because having that stagger and my unusual way of typing means I miss hit keys a lot. Alrighty, now that was an Alps, so you can go into that bag. That's DSA. And then the rest of those are pretty normal. Wow, we're up to 7 people. This is fantastic. So in the last couple of minutes, while I wasn't paying attention to the ticker, welcome everybody to the stream. All I'm doing is just hanging out and going through this grab bag. What I'm doing right now is I'm just quickly sorting through profiles before we look a little bit more closer at what I've got in each of the profiles. So you do need to bear with me in that sense. Of course, you can always come back and check in later if you like, if you don't want to hang around for this initial sorting. But you're more than welcome to chill out here and just chat and ask questions either amongst yourselves, or you can have questions directed to me. Yeah, more than happy to discuss most topics, as long as they're not too sensitive for the current environment and scope, as well as anything that's non-inclusive is a good way of describing it. Rightio. Well, that another G20 keycap. Starting to gather a collection of G20, which is pretty cool. I'm going to have to consolidate all of my grab bag keycaps at some point in time, because now I've got 3 bags worth and they're actually still scattered within different sort of categories and things like that. Bottom row on the left is the hardest part. Still adjusting from staggered. Yeah, I find that with control usage, stagger, trying to break stagger is hard. But one of the things that was really throwing me was CVB in using ortho. I would always mishit that. That's why I was really interested in the Delta split, because it was actually staggered split. I was interested in the Mistral Barocco, but when the Delta split came along, I thought, you know what, I'm going to be able to get the split stagger on that keyboard, and then a little bit more because the Mistral doesn't have those extra keys, so which I actually haven't built yet either. So, hey, look at that. I think that's a Godspeed launch key. Cool bananas. Getting a lot of Godspeed today. Rightio. Now I'm already almost got a full sack of SA keycaps, so proportionality wise that's pretty good. And my daughter's just locked herself in the bathroom. She's going to start getting upset very soon. You're going to have to excuse me for a second while I rescue her. Hey! Out. Out. Come on. Get. This little whaley thing, hey? I don't know. You want to say hi? There's all these people who are watching. There's 5 people watching. Hi? Huh? You just want to grab the keycaps, don't you? Yeah. No. You're not allowed to grab the keycaps. Alright. Yeah. Hey. You can't have them. No. And you're not allowed to get stuck in the bathroom again. Alright? Behave, please. Yeah? Yes. That's right. I concur. I don't know what you're saying, but that's okay. She locked herself in the bathroom, and I rescued her. Kids. Learning journey for sure. Yeah, so how about that London bombing, hey? That was a bit unexpected. That said, there's an awful lot of CCTVs in London, so if you expect to make a clean getaway, there's something wrong with you. I'm kind of thankful, I guess, that at least the device that they had set off wasn't a very good one, and only people got hurt and nobody got killed. But what is this world coming to? If they focus their attentions and energies to keyboards, then perhaps we might have world peace. Because, you know, they won't have any money because they'll be spending it on keyboards. And all their creative design juices and whatnot, they could be soldering keyboards and designing PCBs and having cool layouts and, you know, gotta spread that keyboard love, right? Gotta spread that keyboard life. Now, I've already got one practically full sack of SA keycaps right here. It's so full that I'm actually having difficulty closing it off. But I want to close it off because if it accidentally tips over, I'm going to have SA keycaps all over the floor. So let's just seal that. Put that away for the moment. Some more DSAs. It does make me wonder what the proportion of profiles that Signature Plastic makes and sells. Because going by, you know, grab bag quantities, if these are just purely ones that didn't make the quality cut, is it representative enough for the ones that did make the quality cut? Hard to say. Hey, how's it going? We're up to 8 people watching the stream now, so thanks very much for coming along. We're just sorting a grab bag, quickly first by profile, and then we'll have a look at each profile set and then possibly set them into actual sets if there's enough keycaps by sets. So now I'm to bag 2 for SA. Forgot Spoo. Forgot Spoo? Is that meant to be forgot spool? Forgot spoon? What is a spoo? I don't know. And that is actually a a DSA keycap. Getting too caught up in the moment of trying to figure out what a spoo is. If you know what a spoo is, please let me know what a spoo is. Because I don't think I've ever come across that word until today. Getting quite a bit of Borealis actually this time around too, which is nice. I do have a set of Borealis courtesy of Bus Gamer of Idea 23. Guys are being awfully quiet on the chat, but that's okay. Not forcing anybody to talk if they don't want to. Another weird cap. Some more SA. Oh, we're up to 9. Welcome, number 9. Number 9. Where do you hail from? For those who are joining this stream for the first time on this channel, welcome, welcome. If you don't really know what's going on here, this YouTube channel and this stream is all about mechanical keyboards. Oh, it's Mr. O'Farrell. How's it going, James? I thought you were going to be watching our friends over at TopClack and their build stream. What happened there? That's pretty cool. I got a phase key. Or you're watching both streams. That'd be even better. Simultaneously watching 2 streams at once. I can hear my wife in the background sternly telling off the little one for doing something that she's not meant to be doing in the laundry. All about the Aussies, man. How am I going? I'm going alright. Went out shopping early this morning to Costco and to Woolies and to Aldi and did the shopping for the week. So came back, had some lunch, and I went, you know what? We got time for a live stream. So here we are. It's really hard to schedule these things for me because it all depends on my daughter's mood. If she's being really clingy or being really cranky, it's really hard to do anything, you know, because she'll just basically be wailing or sticking to you like glue the entire time. So, yeah. Wow. S Inks. That's really brutal, dude. TopClack doesn't know how to solder well. Well, you've seen me solder, haven't you? Can you explain and describe what you mean by soldering well and not soldering well? Or what is it that they're doing wrong in their soldering? And is it Huey that doesn't know how to solder, or is it Brian that doesn't know how to solder? Or is it surely not both of them? That's a really fat SA profile cap, but it's got that non-MX stem. That's a deceptive stem, but that's not the right type for our MX caps. So as for cool keycaps though, I'm just quickly going through by profile, and then we'll go through each of the bags by profile to check out what we've got. I think that's probably the easiest way to go about it from experience now, is just the profile sort. Because to be honest, most people don't really care about like the DSA caps terribly much. They tend to be more, not DSA, DCS caps. Yeah, since most of the nice sets and good sets are from obviously SA and DSA. And of course, nobody ever gets custom sets from Signature Plastics in DCS, right? They all go to GMK for their good sets in that profile. For NEC switches, okay. I don't know a lot about alternative switch types. I'm not a absolute switch aficionado as such. I know that Josh, for example, from Pluggable, has a really impressive switch collection. He's got over 150 odd switches in this grid format, which is pretty cool. Hey, wow, a geek hack. That's pretty cool. Got any cool space caps? When you say space caps, do you mean Godspeed? Because I do have Godspeed keycaps. I got a launch, an ISO launch, enter, which was alright. What's that from? It's a box with a cross through it. It's a profile row 1, row 2 SA. Dump clear line. There we go. That's a bit of a machinery keycap by the looks of it. Yeah, you still haven't explained what they're not doing properly when they're soldering S-Inks. Would love to know, because obviously if they're not doing it right, and they've been soldering for ages, it would potentially help me understand what I might not be doing right when it comes to soldering. Oh, there's my Signature Plastics cap with no code on the back of it. There we go. Okay. So that's an example of the SP cap. If it'll come into focus.
You need to face.
There we go. There's the escape. And there is no code on the back, which means I didn't win $100. But that's okay. Well, I wouldn't have won $100. I would have won $100 worth of keycaps. So, but that's okay. That's okay. Hey Jamal, thanks for coming along. Hey, this place is like a rockin'. What, 8 people, we're chatting, having a good time. Well, I hope you guys are having a good time. I'm just hanging out, you know, enjoying my plastic. To be honest with you, there are some things that other people don't see the value in, right? And then you think about the cost and people are like, oh, it's not worth $65 to get a grab bag. And then I think about, well, how about the people who have addictions to pokey machines? Now, if you don't know what a pokey machine is, for Americans, it's slot machines, right? In Australia, it's actually an epidemic problem. People spend thousands of dollars on them a year, and to me, I'd rather spend that money on keyboards and grab bag keycaps, because at least I've got something physically here for it, as opposed to people who spend their money on a pokey and come walking away with nothing, except maybe some regret. So he put solder on the soldering iron, and then he dabbed the pin with the solder, which would make a cold... Okay, so for those who are actually going to be potentially watching this afterwards, I'll read that out for you again. Quakums put solder on the soldering iron and then dabbed the pin with solder, which would make a cold solder joint. You are supposed to heat up the pin and apply solder directly. Okay. I put my soldering iron against the pin and pad, and then I put the solder onto the tip of the soldering iron and let it flow onto the pin and pad. I don't put it on the pin and pad because, I don't know, that's just the way that I've ended up doing my soldering. Now, is that also really bad technique there, S-Inks? Because I tend to find if I try and solder it by heating the pin and pad and then melting it onto the pin and pad, I actually overheat the pin and pad. And I've had issues where I've been really concerned that I've damaged the PCB from overheating that. Is that an issue? Or am I sort of being too cautious about the way that I solder? Okay, so... yeah, right. So it's really that what you're saying is Brian was wicking cold solder onto the pins rather than adding fresh solder onto the pins. Whoa. Keycaps are much better than crack. Well, I think pokies are probably better than crack, because at least with pokies, you're not going to get the risk of getting bad crack and dying from an overdose. I don't know if anybody's directly died from an overdose of a pokey machine. Unless, of course, somebody's applied a pokey machine to you directly, like, you know, it's fallen on you or something. So this is one of those keycaps from, I think, what is it? The G20 Semiotic, inspired by the Aliens movie keyboard. So that's pretty cool. I'm starting to get a few more of those now. More SA. What is with that? I'm sorry, I had to laugh because this is like a really munted font and keycap. It's like the second shot melted as part of melted the lettering, because you can see the G's gone all funny and then the D and N's gone funny on the curve as well. It's just a really munted legend on it. Made me laugh, that's all. I don't even know what chain of thought I had before I saw that, but it's completely gone now, whatever it is I had. G20 profile made with new legends. I really actually want to try a full keyboard with G20s. I feel like it would be kind of like DSA, but obviously because it's flat tops, right? But they would feel like laptop chiclet keys because of that flat top. And also because they're much lower in profile. Like, you see how low that G20 is. It's very much like the DCS row 4 kind of profile. It becomes a short throw keycap, really, more than anything else. Which, you know, if you're into chiclets, then that's fine. At work, we recently had a whole bunch of new terminals, desktop thingies, actually installed, and they all came with these Dell short throw chiclet rubber domes, and so painful to type on. Not physically painful, but like I type on it and it makes me die a little bit inside because there's no tactility response to it. There's no like travel distance sensation. It's just really dead. There's no bounce to them. It's just, yeah. Whereas one of the people I work with, she's like, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with this keyboard. Like, yes, there is. You need to be educated. Alrighty, we're getting towards the end of the bag now. We're sort of in the last couple of handfuls. Let's just get another handful up there. Once again, another one of these, two with the weird sort of Alpi stem in the middle. Is that purely there for stabilization purposes? Or is that the Alp switch, but they've got MX stabilizers on it? It's very unusual. I'd never seen that before. It's getting quite a bit of jukebox today too. What have we got? Some more jukebox. I think there's a bit of carbon hanging around. Lay them all out. I will, once I sift through all of these profiles, because that'll just make life a lot easier. Hey, it's a translucent ruby cap. Alrighty. Oh, that's a multi-layer one. I'm not quite sure if that's any sets have had that. DSA with an arrow key on the layer. Unless, of course, that's a misprint, and that's why it's in the grab bag. Okay. So at the moment, SA keycaps are definitely winning on the count, because they're already up to a bag and a half, whereas every other keycap profile has yet to hit one full bag. A juggernaut that is the SA hype train. G20. This is like Miami, right? Who did Miami originally? Was it Miami? It looks like that Toho Miami colors. Am I right? Am I wrong? Someone help me, please. Am I talking out of my ass? Okay. So, get the rest of these into their DSA bag. Not DSA, DCS. It's a lot of DCS this time around, actually, compared to last time. We're up to 11. Whoa. Alright, so there's the remainder of the bag. All out. There we go. Does that feel like 700 keycaps? I don't know. But I don't think we're going to bother counting them. Essay. I would say there's not as many really weird ones today. Oh, look at that. Front print SA. Pause and break. That's pretty cool. Now that is what that page down was supposed to look like. Not the one that had it all squished up. You guys are awfully quiet. Now tonight I'll be doing the recording for our next podcast episode, and I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go, but I can tell you there's definitely going to be a bit of popcorn discussion, because this week has had some popcorn. Light cycle, yeah, check that out. It's a nice graphic actually for that bike on Light Cycle. When my daughter gets older, I can conscript her to help sort keycaps. Well, she's going to get much older before she gets to that point, because right now she's more inclined to either eat it, or try to eat it, or stash them. She's in the stashing phase, so she takes things and she hides them, and then we never see the light of day of them again. We gave her an old bar phone, as in like just a simple phone. That was my wife's, and we haven't seen it for a few weeks now. It's just she's gone and hidden it somewhere. Don't know where. We've looked high and we've looked low. She's very good at hiding stuff. She has these three little piggies that go into a toy of hers that you drop them through the chimney, and they say 1 little piggy, 2 little piggy, and then on 3 little piggy it sings a song. Stashed one of the piggies. Have not seen it. Now she manually sticks her hand down the chimney to trigger it so it plays the song. But you know what? At the same time, it's very smart of her to know exactly what she needs to do. Hey, Argon. Good afternoon. It is indeed Saturday afternoon for us Aussies here. It's a moderate temperature today too. It's not too hot, not too cold. I've got a light jacket on, but indoors it's probably not absolutely necessary. Did I get any weird Comtech stems? What does a Comtech stem look like? Pray tell. Can you describe it? That's it. So, in today's grab bag, I have not quite 1 sack of DSA. There's my DSA bag. I have 1 sack of DCS of an assortment in terms of colors and key sets. I have about 1/4 of a bag of Alps and G20 and these hokey pokey long things. The thick MX stem. Yes, I have several of those things. I got a lot of them from previous grab bags too. So, yeah. They're in here somewhere. I did have one before. I think this yellow ISO has that thick stem MX cap. Is this one, right? No. this one is actually a proper one. That's a launch key. I have another one that I found earlier that did have them, but I know the type that you're talking about. I think they may have ended up in this one. Poop pachoop. This one. That type, right? That's the Computech one that you're talking about? Computech? Yeah? Because I have a bunch of those from previous grab bags as well. And then I have 1.5, 1 and a bit, almost 1 3/4 sacks maybe, of SA keycaps. So, where do you guys want me to start? Or whatnot? Should I just completely ignore the DCS bag and the Weirdos bag? Because obviously there's not really much happening there. So there's Weirdos bag, which is mostly semiotic, some G20s, those long stems, bit of Alps, nothing special. And then of course DCS is just it's just DCS. There's some interesting colors there. It looks like there might be some Toxic. Looks like Miami is in there. Yeah, like up there, a bit of Miami colors. Bit more of that pink and blue Miami-ish down here. Nothing too crash hot. Dasher and Dancer are finally shipping. Yeah, well, it's been a while, isn't it? And yeah, 2 sacks of SA. So, what do you want? What do you guys want? Let me know. Do you want to go through the DSA at all? Or should we just start pulling out the essays? Looking for feedback. Looking for feedback. SA it is. Everyone is saying SA. Okay, how do we do this? SA. Alright, clearing a bit more space. Let's crack this baby. First SA bag. Alright, how do you think we should organize this? Oh, Henry being the troll, of course. Being the only one who wants some DCS happening. Let's shove that back a little bit. Okay, what's the best way to do this? Just by base color? Or by sets that we kind of know of? Because there are some sort of off-colorishness that's happening around here too. So we got these. Is that just off-color pulse? Off-color jukebox? It's some really interesting color sets. Alphabetical. Alphabetical. What are you? A librarian? Let's do them just by color groupings. It's probably easier to do that by color grouping more than anything else. I actually don't know what that set comes from. That blue. The camera is showing it at an okay color tone, but I feel that the color tone's slightly different to what I'm visualizing here in real life. So profile. Oh, profile is going to be a challenging one. I'm going to do them by color, only because I've already started doing them by color, and because that will also help identify them kind of by sets with color. Kinda? No? You don't think so? Got some grays. I really need more workspace, don't I? But some whites, some beiges. Round 5, round 6. Okay. What do I think about the whole Input Club and Mass Drop fighting? I'm not going to say very much about it right now because it's something that I will talk about in the podcast. I can't give away all of my content today. I don't even know what that was from. There's a lot of stuff I don't know what it's from. Toxic escape. You know what? First of all, I'm going to flip these over, and then I can worry about getting them up to where they need to be. Hit Play School in the background. My wife has put it on for the little one. She's just sitting there in her cot watching some Play School. There's another bit of toxic there. Getting a cramp in my thumb from too much cap flipping. Alright, so this is only half a bag of keycaps. Alright, I'm just going to open a set of drawers over there, and I'm just going to move my keyboard completely off the view. There we go. Now just give me a little bit more breathing space. Okay, so I've got 3 there, over there, some colors there. Some sort of weedish blues. We've got some more toxic there. We've got a small amount of pinky ones over there. Now let's get the whites together. White and sort of creamy beige colors together at least to start with. Oh, that one's really way off center, isn't it? I think some of these are ice cap. These must be like for vision impaired people or something, because they're massive, really thick legends on those. Now that's either Godspeed or carbon, much the same. There's some carbon definitely there. Some blue blanks. Go live up there. I've got a green one of that symbol. I think that's the escape symbol, isn't it? Okay, so I got some sort of similar-ish, not similar-ish. Some light blue, dark blue. This is of course a bit chaotic, but that's okay. Now I don't actually have enough space to pour out the next bag, so should I bag them by the color sets that I know of, and then just by generic colors, or should I go blanks and legended, or what's the best way I should be looking at this from your perspective? Any thoughts? A lot of greys, a lot of dark greys. A lot of these are sort of, they feel like row 3s. Some slightly unusual-ish ones. A couple of random orange ones. Slightly different color on those ones yet again. Yeah. Okay. It's a light grey. With even lighter greys and dark greys. Whew. So that's one bag. What I'm going to do is, I think I'll put these toxic ones into a bag. Guys have gone all quiet again. Must be something happening out there in the real world. Alright, so let's good thing about Ziplocs at least is they're very reusable, so I can rearrange them however I like afterwards. Now these are definitely jukebox, I believe these ones are, but these ones have a slightly different tone. So, and the red is not as vibrant in them. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. But you know what? That's okay. Because, yeah, they can always be rearranged or reorganized again later. So there's nothing particularly exciting in these at the moment, is there? No siree. No siree. Wow, it's already been an hour. But, tracking a lot faster than previously. Because I remember the first time that I did this, took me ages. A lot more familiar with keycaps and their profiles now. And what to look for. So, yeah. You know what, I'm going to put these dark blues in here as well, just otherwise I'm going to have a lot of bags, a lot of baggies. Chunk. I've got a lot of these Ziplocs because at Costco you can buy them in a 4-box pack, and each box has a lot of them. How many is in it? It's like 54. So I got like 200 of these things at one point in time. So probably more than I anticipate I ever needed. It's a bit of a weird shade there. It's so quiet in here. I suppose at least I have Play School in the background keeping me company. Any got plans for a Saturday night, or you guys are all housebound like I am? Any good anime out there at the moment for those who watch anime? I haven't really watched anime in ages. I have been reading a bit of manga though, and manhwa, the Korean manga. So I've been reading like Legendary Moonlight Sculptor. That's pretty good. Work. Lab. What do you do again? What kind of profession do you work in a lab? See, that one's still pretty cool. Pause and break. That one's pretty cool. Study. Gamers. Oh, okay. Yeah. I have watched and I have read, and I do read One Punch Man, so yeah. Drug discovery. Biochem. That's pretty cool. Biochem is beyond my brain power. I think my wife studied biochem at uni. What kind of drugs are you attempting to discover? I'm assuming you kind of work for some kind of pharmaceutical company, or are you academic discovery? Oh, there's going to be potentially some whaling happening. Just thought I'd prepare you guys. because it sounds like the baby's having a nappy change. She's not happy at all. Alright, I've got too many bags on the table for me to pour out more keycaps, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them off the table temporarily, and then we'll be able to go back to them once we sort some more keycaps. Oncology. Well, I hope that I don't need them, but at the moment my father is having some treatment, so yeah. But yeah, that's just how life is, right? Now, was that a mistake for me to put all of them out? Maybe not. Okay, so I can already spot the toxics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that bag that's got the toxic ones in it. There we go. So there's the toxics from before. So let's go through and grab out some toxics, and then we can have a look at how many I got. Now, of course, if I am incorrect in the ones that I'm grabbing, someone will have to type out and let me know. But the purple with the red is toxic, right? It's the same set, yeah? I'm pretty sure it is. There's another one there. Okay. So that looks like that's all the toxics that I got, which is not very much. So, a very small scattering of toxic, nothing spectacular. Alright, next one is our good friend's jukebox. And the weird sort of off jukebox. Jukebox. Weird jukebox. Jukebox. Okay, I think that's it. I'm not surprised. So apparently it was another poo. But that's what happens. Alright, let's go with Godspeed. Godspeed. Good amount of Godspeed this time round, I would say. Launch. Another one there. I'm just going to claim these as Godspeed alphas, even if they're, carbon alphas. But that means I had another bag, didn't I, that they went into. Didn't I? I thought I did. Did I lose them? It's a bit weird. Oh, don't worry. I'll get around to it. If I need to resort them again. Okay, so there's those three. There's another one. There's another one. So for the time being anyway, they'll just go into the Godspeed bag. That is a jukebox. And so is that one. I don't know. Whoa, that is like a snot green, puke green, gallbladder bile green keycap that I think was probably an off-color kind of deal. So pop those two back in there. Let's go with the pink ones. So I got more pink keycaps. I don't actually know where these keycaps were from, this pink set. It's very alien to me. It's not Valentine, is it? I thought Valentine was white legends on the pink. Or did they have black ones? Oh, missed another Godspeed. And it even says Godspeed. So, straight off the bat, Godspeed. Perfect for a unicorn vomit set. Actually, where is it? So, probably about 2 months ago, maybe a month and a bit ago. Somebody had asked me if I could help them out and provide them with a set to fill a gherkin. SA Grand Budapest. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Scottish Game Maker. As soon as you said it, I saw it, and yes, you were spot on. That has those purples with it, doesn't it? And those purples... They're not the purples here, though, are they? Because they have a different... They've got the pink with them, right? This purple with the red, that is still toxic, though, right? I'm pretty sure. But, of course, if I'm wrong, please do correct me. But, so I helped somebody out, and I sent them a whole bunch of keycaps to fill a gherkin in the different profiles so they could try out the SA profile across 3 as well as flat R3, and I put this together in at the same time, so that's why I'm saying that's like the Valentine's color there, whereas this is actually across a sculpted set. So this is my attempt to complete a 104 in sculpted. So maybe after this grab bag I might be able to complete more of this particular set, so that would be pretty cool. That wasn't toxic. Okay, so those purples aren't toxic. Then maybe those purples are Grand Budapest. Does anyone know? Let me just clear these up a little bit, and then we'll pull these purple ones out again, and we can have a look at what these purples. Does anyone know what these purple ones? The glare is pretty bad on these, but I'll hold them up in a second, and then we can figure it out. This is really good. Troubled Mind. Okay. Troubled Minds. Joker set. Right. My bad. Okay, so I might have Toxic in the DCS, but obviously this is... but are all of these Troubled Minds? With the purple. So these are mods for Grand Budapest? What about this Lone Alpha with the green inside? I feel that must be with the the Troubled Minds, because it's the same green. It's the same green. So it would make perfect sense if it was the contrast to these. But yeah. Yeah, Troubled Minds to the Green Legend. That's what I thought it would be. Alright, excellent. Well, thank you very much for helping me solve that one. Let's pick out these white ones. Blanks. And they're probably just ice cap, right? Oh, look at that fat shift. Which probably isn't. So there's beige, like this off-whitey color, but you know what? I'm just going to lump all these white ones in together because they're white. Because I can. White, beige, cream. Dave Dig says they've done that before a meetup. Identify that key set. Well, as much as that would be a fantastic game to play on the podcast, that's really hard to play. You could play it visually, I suppose. You could call out some colors and then see what people come up with, thinking what keycap set that it would be. Okay, so that's a grey. Now, starting to get down into the fat colors. So we've got these weird, well, not weird, but some dark blue and sort of teal, cyan. I know that this particular color, that's Pulse. That's Pulse for sure. I've seen it before. But yeah, see, that's a completely different color right there. So that's Pulse. That's Pulse. That isn't. Alright, let's drag these back out again. So now that I have a better idea, did Pulse have white legends? Anyone know if Pulse had white legends? Call on the brains trust here. Did Pulse have white legends? There is Pulse, Jukebox, Godspeed, Round 5 in blue. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure these are just all Godspeed right here because they've got that black. So I'm good with that. Let's get rid of the grey ones because the grey ones are fairly sort of generic. Grey. What? Okay. I don't know what that came from, but there's a dude running and he's carrying a briefcase. So, and then Shaker. Is that actually from a keycap set that from our community, or is that like a an industry keycap for something that obviously shakes? Pulse had blue and black legends. That's round 5. Okay. Cool. Alright, that's good to know. So Pulse only had blue on black? Not... So these are Pulse? Which means those other... So those keycaps here are not Pulse? Must be round 5? Okay. This whole round business was really confusing me when I came across it, because I didn't really know very much about it at all. And I'm still a little bit confused about it right now, but, you know, it's okay. Just color them by color. I think that's Chronicler. Something like that. Alright, so if these are round 5, then all of these other ones that have that same scheme are also round 5s. We'll just make that assumption. Still a lot of SIA keycaps. Mr. Grey one. I think that's it. Okay. Woo-hoo. All right. There's Godspeed. There's Troubled Minds. There's Jukebox. Grand Budapest. Those white ones. What happened to the sack of the light grey ones? There's the sack of that one. You got running guys in those as well. Red and white and purple and white are also round keys. Okay. Red and white, so that's those. And purple and whites, which I don't think I had any purple and whites. So let's just empty these out so we can resort those. Okay, so red and white. There we go. There we go. that can go in. Well, it's a different kind of red and white, but close enough. More meta keys. And no purple and whites. 1976. So that would be those and those. Is that right? Yay, nay. And then I've got these black ones as well. These are black on white, so they're probably the Philco. Is that right? Some Philco keys. What? Lost one. You'd probably joined us a little bit later than when I was sorting through them originally, but there are some that are kind of messed up a little bit in the printing. In terms of the quality of the sprues and stuff like that, they're not super great in some of them. To be honest, this box actually had pretty good quality. There was only one cap that I saw that was an incomplete pressing. It seems like a lot of the defects might have been the legends got messed up somehow, or they were off-centered. There's a couple in there that I saw that were actually double prints as well. So I'd say a lot of these, most of these are perfectly serviceable. I wouldn't have an issue with them at all. But you wouldn't really know until you fit them on the actual keyboard to know if there's any other issues, fitment issues, for example. Red, brown, orange, and yellow. Okay, so some of those red ones might have actually been 72, hey? There's that dark blue one. There's some weird dark blue ones in here. So some orange. There's the brown. I think I had some of these browns from before as well, which means if that's the case, I've possibly got more 72 than 1976 than I realized, which is always good. I do like that yin and yang novelty, actually. That's quite nice. Straight up black and whites. Fat black and white ISO enter there. Did I get a round 2 transmit speed in Godspeed? Oh, row 2. Pff, round 2. Maybe. How big is the transmit key? Okay, so I think those are chronicler. Now we're starting to get down into the end of the line. It's a tab key but says transmit. Okay, well, let me finish up with this and then I can go through all of my grab bag keycaps. So this one's really interesting. Ende. Sigma Ende? Because I mean that's a Sigma sign right there. Unless if it's meant to be a big E but they messed it up because they're going to focus? Oh, almost. I'm moving too much. Try and get that in a focus. There we go. So if it's an E, how did it end up with an extra E on the end as well? Bit weird. Ende. But you know what? I'm not going to bother trying to sort these out terribly much further. These must be round 5 or 6 caps as well because it's got, you know, hack on it. And they've got that same sort of very dark blue with the white. But that's pretty much it. So I'm not going to say it was a terribly exciting bag. There wasn't really any high volume of novelties or unusual keycaps in this. Das. What? Okay, I don't know what you just said there, but that's alright. I'm gonna take your advice and I'm gonna just pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so I'm just gonna sweep all of these in because I don't really need to get into the super nitty gritty of. There's obviously not enough here from any one particular set to complete a set. Not even in blanks, I don't think this time around, which is interesting because, you know, I got a lot of SA, like a lot of variety in the SA, but it's certainly not enough by any means to successfully complete an actual set. But I didn't really expect that to be the case. So, jukebox and Godspeed. Let's have a look. Did I get a transmit key in my Godspeed? So, I'm just going to move that. Move all of these off. Let's have a look. I've got a stow. I've got the backspace. I've got a couple of Godspeeds. I've got an actual tab. I've got a big transmit, not a little transmit. So, yes, I have a transmit. It's not the transmit you are after. But let me have a look at my previous grab bag. The fact that it's taking me so long to dig through shows you how many keycaps I have from these 3 grab bags. Having a box of lunch here. That was a keycap that fell before. It was a DCS keycap that fell before. Of little consequence. Here is my other bag of Godspeed. I can consolidate these now. So let's just gently sweep them aside. Pulse. Some Godspeed symbols. Some more Godspeed symbols. Tabs. I think that's a negative, my friend. I do not have a tab size transmit, but I do have some others in that particular size. That said, I've got a lot of jukebox, so I can consolidate that at least. So much Godspeed, but yet not enough. I can do a lot of mods with Godspeed. What am I missing on my my vomit board? I got most of those ones. Probably not really the right profile either though. Do I have an F10? Got an F12, so that can go on there. Already have an F9. Let's see. I've got a Z. JK. L. And then that one, isn't it? JKL. That's the right profile. Look, it's even an L. That's the right profile. I think. It is. Row 3. Okay. A 9, 8, 9. Ah, it's stuck. It's interesting. It's not the right profile. It seems like their profile rows are, I think, one short on those ones. But that's okay. That's just how these things go. Oh look, there's even a random green thing here. An F5. Well, that's definitely a row 1 profile. So there we go. Cool. So that's pretty much it. It wasn't a very exciting grab bag, like I said just then. It's definitely a lot of keycaps. 700? I don't know. Oh, so James, did you want that tab? Yeah, you'll hit me up on Discord. Great, no worries. So I'll just take one of these tabs and put it aside for you. Just make sure that they're both good. This one looks like it's got a good stem on it. No defects as far as I can tell. Let's try it on a brown. And it fits. So, should be good. Cool bananas. Yeah, well, obviously the interest has died down as well because there's only like 9 people here at the moment. 4 people, sorry. Not even 9. 9 people. I wish. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Really appreciate that. Got through it in a reasonable amount of time, too. So that was always good. Yeah. Hope you guys have a good weekend for whatever it is else that you guys get up to for the rest of the weekend. Weather stays nice for you and whatnot. So 1. I'm just going to slowly put these away, and then I'll probably just start digging through those bags that I created today to backfill this keyboard. So now I'm going to try and finish off my Vomit 100% set, and then maybe I'll switch my Philco over from its stock keycaps, the Ninja keycaps that I've had on it for a very long time, and then we'll have a new backscape for my future videos. So that's what I've currently got. It's time to backfill. So I'm not going to bother looking in those bags because they're all, shall I say, old stock that I've been through now. Let's have a look at the new ones. Troubled Minds. No backspace. Don't need the shift. Page up. There you go. Already have an escape. Don't need the alt. Wrong profile. And already have a U. So there we go. Troubled Minds. Done. Let's go with Budapest. Add a bit of pink, light pink into the colorscape. It's a 2 numpad, already have. It's a 3 numpad, which I do not have. It's a page up, wrong profile. Backspace, single. This is a 1 numpad profile. Excellent. That's a N, which I already have. Spacebar I have. 5 I have. Tilde I have. Right bracket, blank, W. WASD. There we go. Is that the right profile? Looks like it. Blank. 3. I already have. 0. 7 ampersand I have. W. 3. F3. There we go. J. It's slash and meta, which I do not need. Okay. Starting to come together. It's looking positive. I wonder how many other hobbies have these kind of live streams. We went to Spotlight earlier today to pick up some plastic tubs, the big ones, so we could put fabric into it. Now that we have an extensive fabric collection, my wife is, making clothes for our daughter and so forth. And it was really quiet. We're like, oh, it's really quiet today. And they go, no, it's going to get busier in the afternoon because we're having a quilting expo. It just makes me wonder, I know quilting's a really big thing. It's really massive in the US, for example. So that was 2 grab bags prior to this 3rd grab bag. So if I managed to completely fill it, that would be 3 grab bags to complete this vomit set. It just makes me wonder if there are live streams of people quilting, because quilting's not something that you can easily do under a camera without a really extensive setup, since you've got a sewing machine and you've got big table spaces of cutting, and then, pieces and stuff that you got to stitch together and patterns, and so I wonder if they do. 5 in the correct profile. There we go. Delete key. Cool bananas, man. We're getting there. 6 already have. B. Wrong profile. Page up. Have Roland. Roland? Obviously some other language that is not English. Oh. Page down. Wrong profile. There's that end key. Is that the right profile? I believe that's the right profile for the end key. I already have a caps lock. Yeah, that's the row 3 caps lock. Insert. Wrong profile. Looking for the other bracket, by the way. Bit more than you expected. Well, yeah, with grab bags though, it really is a bit of a gamble, right? And that's why people trade them, and that's why I'm happy to help out people who are actually looking for particular sets. I can't even put that there because it's the wrong size. If there's particular keycaps that somebody's after and I can help them out, I'm more than happy to. I've sent keycaps from my grab bags to Singapore. I've sent them to the US. I've sent them all over the place. Well, that bag wasn't very helpful at all. Barely got anything out of that one. But here's the fun part, right? I have a delta split that's going to need keycaps. I also have a 40% that I need to build too that will need keycaps. So the more keycaps that I acquire, grab bags or other, the more opportunities I have to actually, make something for them. So I don't think I'm really at a loss with it, to be honest. That's a left, which I already have. I've even got one that says left, which I already have. It's not very helpful at all. Alright, let's try this round 5, round 6 bag. Now, for everyone who's still hanging out here, what's coming up ahead for the Board podcast? Very good question. And I mean in general, I don't mean specifically tonight's episode. We haven't hit 900 subscribers yet, but Reese from Melbourne was very generous in sending me a whole bunch of the those Otemu Switch packs. So what I'm looking to do, bloody hell, what is that one? Oh, it's an up key. Okay, I've already got an up key. So I was thinking of actually doing those as my 900 subscriber giveaway. Now, of course, if you already got one, then there's really no need to enter it. But if you feel like getting more of those sampler packs, then that is currently my plan for them. I've got 7 of them spare that I'll be running the giveaway for, and of course they'll be shipped to anywhere around the world, covered by us here at the board. Now, we have been in talks with more people in the community about how we can be more involved to help them, and we may potentially have some more stuff coming up as well in the near future, which will be good, which will be nice. So make sure you keep your ears out, and of course, when you can, if you feel like it, just check out our episodes. Oh, what have you got there? You've got a nappy. You want to give Daddy a nappy, do you? Thank you. Okay. There's one of your... no. Hey, be careful. Hey! No. Da. No.
Hey, chilling.
You go with Mommy, and you can take your nappy with you. You're going to need it later, okay? Alright.
Chilling. Come on.
Alright, okay. There you go. Are you getting cranky because you're not getting any screen time? Huh? You can't put your wily baby charms upon people on the internet. Is that it? Take her out shopping, and my wife takes her out to, playgroup and things like that, and people always comment about, how cute she is because we dress her up like a doll and stuff, which isn't actually true. We just dress her up. But the difference is there's a prevalence for kids to go out just in their PJs these days. So compared to them, she's well overdressed. But that kind of is against our sensibilities. So she ends up looking more superiorly attired than other kids. Right, a small amount of jukebox. Wrong profile, wrong size. What are you doing? Just running around like a mad baby. Print. I still need that other bracket. Come on, give me that bracket. Jive turkey. Gonna be a jive turkey. I need a page down too. Stop giving me the ones I want. Oh, there's an X, but that's the wrong profile. Gah. I think one of the hardest things to do when you're live streaming is to not talk, if that makes sense. Because like right now I'm just talking to you guys, but at the same time I'm kind of talking to myself because I'm not getting a lot of interaction back. And for me, watching a stream or whatever, if people aren't interacting, it's a little bit weird. Because if you're not interacting with somebody and you're just watching someone do something, to me it's almost like you're kind of spying on them. Whereas if they're actually talking, like what I'm doing right now, even though you might not be talking back, it's a little bit more active, if that makes sense. So I do apologize if it seems weird that I'm just rabbiting on about random crap, but it's because I don't like having the silence, and that's just a personal preference on how I do streams, how I prefer streams to be. F3. Got an F3. I don't need a fat shift. What is this? It's a 1. I've got a 1. And these ice caps aren't doing a good job helping either. Yeah, sure. Cup of tea. Henry saying that they do the sneaky spying on my life. Well, my life is pretty out there for everyone to see. You know, people want to know where I've been and what I've done. They can always find me on LinkedIn. I've got a very unusual job history. Oh, my lovely wife bringing me a cuppa. Very Australian, of course. Hey, you want a cuppa, do you? You can't have it. It's too hot for you. You want to come up? You want to come up? You just want the keycaps. Yeah. You want to bash on the keyboard? It doesn't press and click like Daddy's other keyboard. But you don't care, do you? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Well, as you can see, she's having a good time. She thinks it's a proper keyboard. Maybe I should build you a decoy set, huh? And then that way you can just bash on those and not on Daddy's keyboard. That would work just as well, wouldn't it? Hmm? Because you don't know the difference. Now that's not the right profile, but that's the only keycap that I've got that actually has that symbol on it, so I might as well utilize it there anyway. And also because I rarely use that menu key, so it doesn't really bother me. That's the wrong profile. These weird profile keycaps. Learning to hunt and peck already. She, actually, incidentally, she likes to play on the gherkin. I have the gherkin, and because I don't really use the gherkin very much anyway in any capacity, I put it in front of her sometimes so that she's actually got something to play with, so she's not trying to actually hit my keyboard. And yeah, she'll really go at it. You want to play on the gherkin? So here's the gherkin. See, they don't make any noise, but the gherkin does. Chickadoo. Yeah, that's you on the screen. Yeah, that's right. Having a good time, huh? You know, the sad thing is, with all of these SA caps, I don't think I'm going to be able to complete this keyboard. I'm going to have to get another grab bag. Home is for numpad, but it's the wrong profile. It's a row 3 profile, so it doesn't match the actual profile for a full sculpted set. I already checked. That's why I was like, oh, cool. It's going to be for my numpad, and it wasn't. So that's a bit unfortunate. And I'm now out of new SA keycaps. So out of all of those, out of the bag and a half, right, of SA keycaps, I only picked up like 3 or 4 to fill out my vomit. I probably have a better chance of filling a row 3 SA key set than a sculpted. I'll tell you what, if anyone is ever developing a product and you want to play test for durability, just hand it over to a small child and you'll discover how durable it is very quickly. So, yeah. I actually don't have another one of these things. I probably should get... Well, thank you for sneezing all over keyboard and tea. Hey, don't go sticking your finger in Daddy's tea. So I can't actually set up another one of these easily If anyone knows where I can get these relatively cheap and easily, please let me know, because I might just go buy another 1 or 2 of them, and then I can start laying out multiple sets as well, because that would be really fun in a way and helpful, because then if anyone's actually after complete vomit sets as a cheap way of getting keycaps in a particular profile, either like in DSA or even DCS, to replace stock keycaps, then I can sort of lay them out and it'd be easier for me to find and locate. So yeah. Alrighty. I'm a little bit sad I couldn't get any further with this, but I picked up, you know, page up, del and end. See, she even takes my fingers to type with as well. UK keycaps. Well, I don't know what shipping is going to be like from the UK, but I'll have to have a look. My wife says shipping's better from the UK than the US, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. You like typing on this, don't you? She definitely likes clickies more than rubber domes for sure. You give her a rubber dome, and she'll just be like, and that's it, and she'll just ignore it. So, yeah. No, there's no nana there. Okay, no nana. All right, guys. Oh, 650 international is pretty good. Is that in dollars or is that in pounds though? Because oh, it's like $15. If that's the case, then it's probably very similar to US. Just want to keep on pressing those buttons, huh? Clicky for life. All right, well, I think we're just pretty much here on 2 hours now. So thanks very much for coming along and hanging out with us, with me for 2 hours, with my daughter here for a little bit. And I hope there was a bit of, I suppose, lighthearted discussion and whatnot. And as we can see, it was a pretty ordinary grab bag this time around. There wasn't very many novelties or unusual keycaps. I didn't get one of the signature plastic $100 voucher keycaps, but it was nice to see some keycaps that I'd never encountered before. So, for example, Troubled Mind, Pulse, for example, SA, Grand Budapest was also there. Now, I still have all those DSA keycaps that we didn't even look at, but I guess I'll probably get around to them some other time as well. So we're at 860 odd subscribers. If you're new to our channel, you haven't subscribed before, would really appreciate a subscription. If you haven't liked any of our videos before and you do like our content, then of course please swing by and give us a like, because it helps boost our visibility for whenever we put up stuff. It'll appear as recommended content for other people who aren't familiar with our channel, as well as it helps bump our tags that the videos have. That's right, huh? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye. You going to say bye-bye? Bye? Want to blow a kiss? Mwah. No? You're not going to be social. No, she's shaking her head saying no. I'm not going to say goodbye. Huh? Oh, she's waving. She's waving to the screen. Wave bye there. Bye. Yeah. Yay. Good girl. Mwah. All right, well, thanks very much, guys, for hanging out. And as usual, until next time, happy clacking. Now, of course, we got to wait for the delay. And yeah, we'll see you next time on another live stream.